Hello everyone. Today's video is going to cover a very serious topic. Being ESL and special ed certified, I have encountered many situations where students have suffered trauma. So today's video is going to be about creating a trauma-informed learning environment. Approximately 2/3 of all U.S. children have suffered some sort of trauma, be that abuse, neglect, natural disasters such as the pandemic that we are experiencing right now, or witnessing acts of violence like, let's say for instance, the video of the murder of George Floyd and some others that we're seeing on the news, as well as violence in some of the protests that young people may be seeing on the news today. I also want to talk briefly about educational trauma, where students may have some negative effects of being retained, working at lower grade levels than the grade level that they are actually in, or having had negative experiences with educators who didn't quite understand them and the diversity that was in their classroom, and so they weren't able to necessarily meet the needs of every student, as well as students who are coming to us from other countries that have been displaced from their actual original learning environments. And so they're being engulfed in the English language classroom, and they are traumatized by having to learn these things and not quite understanding or fitting in to the classroom environment. So I want to talk briefly about a few things. First of all, is creating a safe space, a space where everybody feels accepted, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, no matter what their background is. I know that we have a lot of students that are going to be taught at home in the e-learning environment, and it is so important to know that if these young people, because of the trauma, have been diagnosed rightly or misdiagnosed with things like ADD, ADHD, OCD, ODD, emotional disturbances, their behaviors should not be something that we use against them or that they're punished for. Let's say a child has diabetes. Would we punish that child in the classroom or the learning environment because they need their insulin? Their insulin drops, they need a peppermint, they need juice, they need something to help them and assist them right then. We wouldn't punish them for that. And so when you're speaking of children with trauma, it is so important that they are not punished for the negative effects that trauma has brought into their lives. So the first thing is going to be creating a safe space where they know that if they have a effect of the trauma, it may be something that they see in the classroom, it may be something that is being studied in the lesson, it may be just the bamming of a book down on the desk that triggers something. The student should not be punished for the feelings that they are having. Also, we know that with trauma comes the need for attention, and a lot of times these young people have not developed a way to positively ask for that. They don't know what they need, and so that turns and lends itself to a negative outburst in the classroom. Well, we need to be able to allow these young people to know that they're going to get a predictable attention. Predictable attention may mean that I say to this young person that I already know has some issue, I will be back to you in 2 minutes. I will be back to you in 5 minutes, so that they know that they don't have to fight for my attention. In just a few minutes, I'm going to come back to them. So predictable attention is a way to de-escalate situations that could turn into something really bad. And then I also want to talk a little bit, and like I said, I'll come back with additional videos that break these down into individual pieces, but channel changing. When we have to have our students take a time out or something like that to regroup because of some trigger, We want to coach them through that time period. A lot of these students will have frequent breaks written into their IEPs or individual education plans. And so in that time, coach them through what that should look like. We don't want them to sit isolated in a corner and keep continuing to think about the negative thing that has them there, but coach them through something positive, some ways that when they are back with the other peers or even in a home environment, if they have a breakdown because it's something that they don't understand, coach them through that time. If you teach them how to not raise your voice, to express yourself when this crisis is taking place, they will learn how to speak and articulate without raising their voice. So coach them through these times. When you're sitting here, think about something positive. Think about something that you can do well, so that when you come back into the learning environment, you're ready to work and you're on point. So trauma is very real. Trauma should not be something that our young people are punished for. You can't spank out diabetes, and you can't spank out any of the traumatic issues that our scholars have gone through. So I just wanted to bring that because I did have some parent concerns about how to discipline their children in the e-learning setting while they are working with them and they're having meltdowns, because we saw some of that when we were released in March. So I want to encourage parents, make sure that you are wrapping your arms around your young person and giving them the grace that they need to excel in this new educational system that we've all been placed in, but especially the young mind who can't understand some of the things that even we as adults can understand but don't understand. And this week we'll continue to talk about trauma because I think it's something that really needs to be discussed. So I thank you for your time. If you have any questions or concerns that you'd like for me to address in these videos this week about trauma, please let me know today before any other videos are created. Thank you.